Hey guys, it's your girl Joey. Welcome back to another DK podcast. We are at episode 18. This episode will be broken down into two episodes, 18.1 and 18.2. In this episode, we have a young lady by the name of Seasons Williams. She is a true believer of Christ and an amazing advocate for those who have been through our judicial system. Seasons will speak to us about her journey through life and how God has put her on the path to be a helping hand to others. Without further ado, let's go. Hey guys, welcome to another DK podcast. It's your host Joey, and this is episode 19. Guys, we are almost at 20. This is amazing. God is so amazing. Today I have a special guest, and would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Seasons. I am from McKeesport. I like to tell people I'm from Hood, Hillenville. So I was born in Harrison.
Okay.
I lived in Crawford Village from like preschool to early elementary. I lived on Bailey Avenue from middle school to high school.
Okay.
So I pretty much been all areas of McKeesport.
All around.
Yes.
I'm a little familiar with McKeesport. I don't know street names, but I partied out there a lot. I did the after hours a lot. And I actually, when we talked on the phone, realized that I dated one of your cousins.
Yes.
And so I'm a little familiar with that area. I did a little bit of business out there as well. So, tell my audience something about yourself that not too many people know.
Well, let me see. I am a breast cancer survivor. November will make 5 years.
Oh, congratulations. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you.
Yes. So, Seasons, tell me about your childhood.
So growing up, I'll start off when I lived in Crawford. Growing up in the projects, back then it was like more of a sense of community. Neighbors kind of looked out for neighbors. It was more of like when you say like raised by a community. I would say that I was raised by a community.
Okay.
There was a lot of, when you go outside, it was like if you doing something wrong, then the neighbor's going to tell your mom.
Absolutely.
It was like you didn't want to do too much because you always knew that there was eyes on you. Growing up in a projects, there was always like a stigma with that, but it didn't take away anything. Like everyone got along. It's a lot different than how it is now.
Absolutely.
It's a lot different than how it is now. When I look at how things are now, I'm really grateful for the way that I grew up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what was your experience with the streets?
So, well, growing up, as I got older, I started to notice and see that some of my friends and family members were going in survival mode.
Okay.
I started to acknowledge and be able to see poverty, which ultimately meant like opportunities were limited for me.
Right.
But because I was raised in a church at an early age, I was optimistic. So I didn't just look at it like I don't have a future, but I did worry. I worried about like going to college and things like that. And then things kind of took a turn for the worse. And that's when I seen like the ugly side of things, when I started to lose a lot of friends and family members to gun violence.
Yeah.
I started to see a lot of friends and family members get caught up in the criminal system, not because they were bad people,
Right.
but because being a product of your environment, sometimes you go in survival mode and you make choices that ultimately have consequences.
Right.
So myself, I was a teen mom. I had my son at the age of 18. And at that time, I started to date. Me and his father broke up, and I started to date. And I guess unknowingly, I was in survival mode.
Yeah.
and I started to date street guys.
Okay.
Which I was saved. I was a Christian. I was saved, and the intent was, I'm gonna get him to live my lifestyle. I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna change him. I'm gonna get him to live my lifestyle. And what ended up occurring is I wasn't that strong in my faith, and I more so adapted to his lifestyle.
Okay.
And those was when the bad decisions were made. Carrying guns, trying to hustle, and really being around bad company, and sometimes suffering the consequences of that company.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just, your environment started to mold you into something that you didn't want, right? Like,
yes. At the time, when you're in it, you don't really see it. At the time, you don't see it. It's like you're blind to what it is that you're really doing.
Right.
It wasn't until, I want to say, when my son got a little bit older, and the decisions was like, when you know that a child is watching you.
Right.
So, and don't get me wrong, during that time that I had a boyfriend in the streets, so my son always seen a man get up and go to work. There was never, like, my house was never the party house. There was never no smoking or anything around my kids. It was, basically just surviving and having a provider.
Right.
So it wasn't until I myself really realized that change was needed. Change was needed. I was always saved, and I guess God was like, all right, like, is this what you want? Because I started suffering consequences. I can recall my daughter's dad had robbed someone, and I was with him, and I had nothing to do with it. But I suffered all the consequences. And in suffering those consequences, my life was almost taken. And initially, it turned me into a person where I feared nothing. I wanted all the smoke at the time, not realizing that I had something to lose.
Absolutely.
And I had someone to come home to.
Right.
So that kind of started a trend for several years. I was hard. I was angry. And I was lukewarm, I was living for Christ. And then I was a part of the street.
Right.
There was times where I would carry anointing oil in one pocket and a gun in another pocket. Literally, like, it was a struggle. It was a struggle until I realized that what I seen going on with my friends was a design play. Until I got educated.
Okay.
Until I got educated that the criminal justice system is a design play for us.
Yes, it is.
Mass incarceration is a design play.
Yes, it is.
And although I never went to jail, thank God, I'm no different than those that made a bad decision. And I knew in a blink of an eye, I could have easily been there, and that wasn't the life that I had, nor do I believe that was my purpose. My purpose was to go through these things so that I could be, and so that I can give hope to someone else.
Right, right.
So that my life has been a testimony.
Absolutely. So, you said that, all the things that you saw, where did that take you into because you mentioned you got educated. So, talk to me about, the education and, where it took you.
So throughout my career working, right? I worked in the hospitals. I worked at Western Psych. I worked at Holy Family. I worked at the daycare. Even at the daycare, everybody was like, "Oh, that kid is bad. Give him to me."
Right.
That's where my heart was. My heart was always for, I don't like to use the word, but I'm going to say, my heart has always been for the rejected.
Okay.
The ones that people don't really want to deal with, bring them over here.
Yeah.
Let me deal with them.
Jesus.
And so even going into the hospitals and seeing how they treated those that had addiction or those that came in shackles, they didn't get the same treatment. They didn't get the same treatment. And I think that kind of lit a fire under me. Like, I wanted to be a part of the solution. I felt like it was like, okay, I understand the population. The population is me.
Right.
The population is my family, right? But now that I'm knowledgeable on that it was a design play, now I'm angry. Now I'm like, I don't want to fall into what was meant.
Right.
I want to break the cycle, and I want to help others. And during the time that my friends and family was going in and out of jail, I was always the one when they come home, like trying to get them jobs, trying to speak to them, try to get them to see that this isn't it. This isn't where it ends.
Right.
And that there's better out there. There's more.
That's kind of where my heart is with it. And why I started Dream Catchers was because my heart was, how do I help those who need help when they come home? Because everybody is not blessed to fall into a position with working for the post office like myself. You know what I mean? And everybody is not knowledgeable to know or have someone in their corner to give them the information that was given to me to put me on the path that I'm on right now. So that's what geared me to starting Dream Catchers. And the children, just changing their outlook on life and breaking generational curses and giving them a foundation, because it's like, I can help the children, but if I don't help the parents, it's kind of like it does nothing, because the children need their parents to help them along. So Absolutely. It's like, now I have to broaden my thought pattern, and I have to just not gear to the children, but the whole entire family. Build the whole entire family. So, your community work, you name so many different positions that you have done. What is your position now?
So I currently work at Reimagine Reentry.
Tell me about that.
As a reentry coach. And so what we do is we actually take a holistic approach. And that is not just dealing with the record, but we deal with the individual as a whole. So whether it's mental, physical, like, we want to make sure that you're in a place to be successful and try to remove the barriers. We stay with our clients for 3 years.
Okay.
So it's not it's been stated that if you stay out of jail for 3 years, the likeliness of you going back lessens.
Okay.
So we figure if we give that support to these individuals for 3 years and keep them on a straight and narrow path, that the likeliness of them recidivating won't be so high.
That's good to know. Yes. That's really good to know. You mentioned barriers. What are some of the barriers that you guys come in contact with your clients that, may possibly send them back to prison, or, fall off of the road of recovery is what I'll call it?
So, a lot of times we're just going to state it like housing is like number one.
Okay.
Having a roof over your head is major. Mental health, transportation. And we have a therapist on site. So anyone who needs therapy services that are a part of our program, they are able to see the therapist on site. So I said housing, mental health, therapy, transportation, anything that we don't do, if it's something that they need and they bring up, we're going to find a resource to assist them.
Okay.
We're going to find a resource to assist them.
So what are your, how long have you been there?
So I have been with this particular company for It'll be coming on a year. A
Okay.
year in September.
Okay.
Yes.
But you've been in community work for what, like 25 years or something like
I've
that?
been in community work for 25 years, and I've been doing reentry in organizations for the last 8 to 10 years. But 20 of those years, I've been doing reentry just on my own, you know, but for the last 8 to 10 within an organization.
Okay. And so recently, when I spoke with you, you had mentioned that, excuse me, that you will be visiting the jails
Yes.
soon.
Yeah, so
You'll have
that
that
started.
access.
Yeah, so that started. So that's another part of what I do at Reimagine Reentry. So I go into the county jail 3 times a week. Mondays and Wednesdays, I go and I speak to the male population. Fridays, I speak to the women's population. I speak to 2 classes a day. It has been amazing.
Okay.
And when I say it's been amazing, it is, everyone doesn't get the same response from the population.
Right.
Which, when you hear the stories, it can make you discouraged or whatever. But from day one, every class that we went to has been engaged, inspired. It was interactive. They look forward to coming back. All good feedback. And going home, it was fulfilling. It really just, like, it made me realize, like, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
You're
I totally
doing exactly
agree.
what you're supposed to do. And it's, you know, it's not like we're going in there and trying to change, because we can't change the county jail.
Right.
But we can go in there and impact the lives that's in there and leave them with hope, knowing that when they come out, they got a brighter future to look at. It's not over. This is just the beginning, and the work starts now.
So with like all the funding that Pennsylvania pumps into, you know, the incarceration system, you know what I mean? Basically, to me, wasting money, honestly. Do you have any ideas on other resources that money could be geared towards to maybe stop so many people from going into the prison system?
Preparation, yeah. So it's funny to ask that question. So I was doing a little bit of research, and what I came across was, during the time that you're in school, between the grades, 3rd and 4th grade, if you cannot read at a 3rd or 4th grade level, it is at that point where they are labeling you to, at some point in time, enter the justice system.
That's so crazy, because me and Justin, our last episode where we did a recap, he brought that up and I was not aware of that.
3rd or 4th grade, if you cannot read, if your child cannot read when they are in 3rd or 4th grade, that's how they project how many people are going to be in the jail. Based off of 3rd and 4th graders. So they go into the 3rd or 4th grade classes, they see who and can't, and then they project, as, you know, I guess by the time they get in 12th grade, who will be in the system. And so I would say to parents, like, you want to spend some extra money getting a tutor?
Yep.
Or you want to spend some extra money getting a lawyer?
Yep.
And I don't know, like, the reasons behind it, but I would say if someone lacked being able to read or write, it limits them from doing something constructive, which ultimately would force them to be out here and do something and get in survival mode.
Right.
So yeah, I found that kind of interesting. But a lot of what they can do is you put that money in programs, programming. I can't speak enough of Reimagine Reentry. I've never worked for a company where I can basically say everyone that is employed there is not there for a paycheck. This is their passion. We don't look at clients as clients or participants. We are family. This is our community. These are our families. So it's easy to establish a relationship, which is then easy to build trust and have someone be open to listen to you. And we're relatable. We make sure that we're relatable. And I think that matters. I also think that, like, even once you get into jail, it should be almost mandatory. You have people in there that's serving 10, 15, and 20 years. And it's just going by and they're not doing anything.
Right. They're just there. Yeah.
And then they come out and you expect them you give them a bus pass and tell them to get a job or go find a place.
Right.
And 20 years then passed. 20 years went by and they stayed the same and everything around them changed.
Yep. And
it doesn't make any sense. If you're going to keep someone in there that long, I feel as though during the times that they're in there, they should be getting into a trade, learning their life skills, keeping up with the time, so that they can come out here and be that citizen, that success story that the system says that they want.
Right. You just gave me goosebumps, because the truth of the matter is it's a money game. And I say, I feel like I say it almost every episode, that it is a money game. You going to jail is not rehabilitating you. No. The only ones who are rehabilitated are the ones who do the work themselves. Because the jail is they're not geared to make you successful or to help you be successful. You know, I will say, when I was in boot camp, they made us have jobs. Like, I mean, I had jobs when I was at Muncie. Well, no, not at Muncie, but at Cambridge, they had me like trying to cut grass. That wasn't happening. I ended up working in the kitchen. But when I went to the boot camp, because I graduated from high school, and there's a lot of people who didn't graduate from high school that are in prison. But because I graduated from high school, and I think it was really just because I graduated from high school. I mean, I had some college courses that I had took. At the time, I had what was it? I was very short of a bachelor's, is what I'll say, but associate's degree. That's what it was. And so I was the tutor, helping the teacher for these guys who have to get their GEDs.
Yes.
Right. So, you know, I also took fiber optics while I was up there. I got a certificate from Penn State to do fiber optics. I mean, it's not nothing to sweep under the rug. It's just, you know, another notch under my belt. You know, something that I could go into. However, I will say the boot camp definitely helped people better themselves. And that was the better part of the prison. And not everybody can get the boot camp. That's a small percentage that can make it the boot camp. Everybody else that's in these prisons, if you're not doing it yourself, they're not going to push you to do it.
No.
They want you to come back, because that's how the warden gets paid. That's how the COs get paid. That's how the people who bring the food in get paid. I mean, the vending machines from the visits, that's how they get paid. The jails are in small communities. Almost everybody that live in that community works in the prison. Like, that's just how. It's a money thing. The lawyers, the judges, like, it's a money game.
It's a money thing.
It is a money game. They don't care what you do when you leave, as long as you come back.
Yeah, it's geared for you to come back.
Absolutely.
They don't have a law library no more.
No, they don't. They give like,
at first it's you want to hide something from the black man and woman, put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
Okay, well, now they got some sit down time. So now they're educating themselves. They directing their lawyer on how to get them out of this.
Yes.
They're writing their appeals. Now you take the books.
We don't want that.
Now
we don't
take
like
the books
that.
away.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Like, now they're being educated.
Our money. You're stopping our money. Why would we want that?
Yes. But it doesn't have to be the end, because that was another thing for me, is like educating them. And it's very, very important when you're of that population to know your rights. Right. So knowing your rights and knowing that the prison system is a design play. It is not meant to have you go in there and come out this renewed, better person.
No, not at all.
It is to tear you down.
Yes.
That's why it's important when I go in there and I speak to the men and women. Are we doing affirmations? We building you back up.
Yes.
We're building you back up. We're speaking life into you. You're and into the population within. There, you can't afford to have an op.
Yeah.
You can't afford to have an op.
Yeah.
You all should be on one accord because you want to go home.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's really like educating them and letting them know that while you're in here, it's time to think of your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to goal plan.
Yeah.
And it's really time to get your mind in order, because the work don't start when you leave.
No.
The work starts now.
Yes.
And so
hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in for episode 18.1 with my girl Seasons Williams. I hope you got everything that you needed out of this first part, guys, and look forward to 18.2. Have a great week and God bless.